family, friends, and the world. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. How is everyone doing on this beautiful night after Sunday? Night after Sunday. This is which was September 9th, 2025. The day was September 9th, 2025. And this is Fight Fire with Truth. This is Fight Fire with Truth, and also open conversation. I also want to give a shout out to my number one, first my oldest grandbaby, and then also to my youngest son. Their Earth Day is coming up. My oldest grandbaby is on the 11th, which is 2 days from today, and my youngest son's Earth Day is on the 12th, which is 3 days from today that just passed. So tomorrow will be the 10th. Then we have the 11th, which is my grandbaby's Earth Day. And then we have the 12th, which is my son's Earth Day. So that'll be this week. And I'm just saying happy early Earth Day to them. Their Earth Day is coming up. And other than that, this is Fight Fire with Truth. Open conversation. Tonight we have Life of Mikael's questions and answers. If anybody come in to ask any questions. And this is 15 and 16. Tonight is 15 and 16. No, just the portions of what we're going. I'm just mainly going over memoirs of my life to remember some things. So in case I want to do a movie, I have everything. Some of the things that's documented right here that I can come back and check out so I can remember, because there's a lot of other things that's in between these things that has happened that I may forget, or these may draw back memories for the things in between the times that I'm sharing. So just sharing that, and just before we start, we're going to do the prayer. So we're going to start off with our prayer, and then we're going to go into the information for tonight. All right? Blessed be thou, Father of the universe, that bring forth all living creatures forth from the earth. Blessed be thou, Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Blessed be the Father of Israel. Blessed be the Father of 12 tribes of Israel. Thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We ask you to keep giving us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, life, health, and strength, food, shelter, and clothing. Let us be happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and prosperous in all that we do. We ask you to keep leading and guiding us so that we can help lead and guide others in your knowledge, your word, your ruach, and your way. We ask you to keep your arm of protection around us, help us in every way, allow us to grow in your word and your way, and help protection around us at all times, that we may see, grow, and understand your word, and bring us into your light, and allow your anointing spirit to come upon us and lead and guide us as well, Father. We ask you to forgive us of any sins and transgressions that we've done against you and your word and your ruach, which is the spirit. We've transgressed against you, and you've also transgressed against us, because we have turned away from your laws and your ways. So, Father, if you will, please forgive us, our ancestors, and our forefathers, and lift the spirit of deep sleep from us, that we may attend to your glorious light, your word, and your laws. We ask you to help us in every way, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, or spiritual. In all these things we pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Think of a welcome birthday party.
Thank you, Father. Say again, son.
Birthday party.
You on a birthday party?
Yeah.
You want to go out?
Yes.
We might go out this weekend then. Go party. Find something to do. Dang, I forgot I'm stranded right now. My van, I thought about it. My van is down for the moment. So that's just for the moment. You know, we'll see what end up happening in the long run. Other than that, greetings everyone. Hopefully everyone is having a great, beautiful evening, or shall I say tonight, that is now. We're in the night between what they call Sunday and Monday, which is the night between the first day and the second day of the week. So, as last week we left off at Life Mikael's question and answers for 13 and 14. This week we're at 15 and 16, which is part 1 and part 2. So last I remember that last week I was sharing about my time in Atlanta. I had just started. I think I got the alkaline water machine. I was sharing information about that, and my time from 2004 and 2005 when I first got to Atlanta. I met my boy Mitch. Um, we chilled. We was going out a lot. Hanging a lot. Um, this is where this brother, he knew a lot when it came to herbs. He's all into the herbs and things like that. Me myself, I knew the Bible at that time, and also I was also growing, as I shared as well. When I got to Atlanta, I actually started growing more into information that is in the Bible, but I didn't know anything about. So I started growing more in information into the things that's literally around us daily. Like understanding numbers. I don't even know if I shared that. Understanding numbers, numerology, you could say, because these things have a lot to do with things that's going on today. But not worshiping it because I'm not into it like that. But these are things that the Creator has placed in the earth, and quote unquote religious world shun on the stuff that the Creator has made and put out here. Now, there's a lot of things that's been placed in there that's saying that we should and should not do certain things, which I don't do. I just follow the scripture, the laws, and see what the Father say what we should and should not do, and do accordingly. And I let the Spirit lead and guide me on the things that I should and should not do at this time. But in my process of learning, in the days that I was in when I was after leaving Mississippi, going through, and I'm in Atlanta now. Just learning more information, making friends, building on things as well, and trying to keep my promise to the Creator. As I said, when I told him to be brought to the truth, I put the truth in songs and writing and give it to the world. It's up to the world to accept it or reject it. Now, and I'm just not realizing, I didn't even realize that it was just not realizing I was in Atlanta a year before the Spirit came to me, and I started saying, when I said that I was gonna put the song, put the truth in songs and writing and give to the world. It's up to the world to accept or reject it. But I was in Atlanta a year because from '95 I went to in the '95 I went to Mississippi. In the middle of 2004 is when I made it to Atlanta, and then on out, and then in the time a year of being in Atlanta, that's when that came. Not actually came to me at that time, but that's when I started getting up and speaking on the train, and also shared about me working or sharing with Boo Boo Black, which is Terrell Williams, which is Fred's Cephas brother that I was doing choreography for. And by me doing choreography for him, it was a song called "Bring This Chick to the Middle of the Floor." So I did that. We had a program on it, or should I say, we had a party as well. All of a sudden, someone come in looking, and then looks like Facebook is trying to reconnect. But I ain't gonna let that stop me from saying what I'm saying. Like all of a sudden, like we're trying to reconnect on Facebook. But as I was saying, that we did that, we performed that, and we had a good time on that, and that was a nice track. Like I said, it reminded you of Hustle and Flow, when there was a song in Hustle and Flow that he made to it that sounded like it that we didn't know anything about. But also at that time, I was talking about the time that when I first got on the train, a martyr, and then I end up going, as I'm going to his house to do choreography for the songs that he was making, Boo Boo Black, that is in Atlanta. The Spirit had me get up on the train in '95. Got up, started speaking to everybody, and I told him that the Spirit told me to tell you get up and speak. You got to do what the Spirit say do. Got up, shared the information about the Valley of Dry Bones, Ezekiel 37, 1 through 14. Then I sat down, and when I did that, the Spirit had gotten me up that day guided me up that day. I sat down with a lady on the train. We talked for a moment. I went to Boo Boo Black's house to for choreography. He was practicing with the singers, and I was out on the patio. And as I was sitting there, a black butterfly flew over, and it was just flying around. I was just looking at it, and it landed on a pillow. So I ended up taking my phone out. I took 7 pics, 5 pics. I took the fifth one was like his wings was on. I mean, you can see it was just that close. That was that close on the camera. Then I put my finger next to him, and I took the picture. Then the last one, he jumped. He stepped on his finger. He stepped up on my finger, so I'm holding him, and I took the pic. That was my 7th pic, and then he flew off. I felt like that was a sign of the Creator letting me know I did good on the train, and later on, as I shared last week, this sister named Kaya Israel, we was traveling, and I told her about it, and then we was talking, and either a song came on or we talked about it, and then Black Butterfly came to mind. Black butterfly, sail across the water, tell your sons and daughters. But the what last that part? What their trouble brings, something like that. But that came to mind. So I know that, and then it was already told to me in Mississippi that in one of my visions, the first thing this prophet told me in dreams told me that God got big plans for you. Right? That was when I was in Mississippi. Now I'm in Atlanta. This is going to be told to me again just before I come back to Detroit. But this is in the spirit. That was in a vision. But this is going to be in the spirit of a brother that told me the exact same thing. But this is just before I get back and come back to Detroit. So now, I spoke mostly about that last week, just giving you a heads up on what I talked about something at that time, up to where I'm at now, sharing with you this week on the life of Mikael, we in 15 and 16. So at this point, I believe we're around the time of 2009. I believe I spoke about Desiree last week as well, which is the young lady that I was with for I had a relationship for about 10 years, long distance relationship that is. But yeah, that was one that I fell for hard. When I say fell for, I mean just fell in for hard for. She was like love at first sight to me when I first ran into her. But she was everybody. One brother that was a kind of a friend of mine, and I was staying in my rooming house. I invited him to come stay because I don't know if he had a place to stay or not, but he was kind of cool, so I invited him to come there in the rooming house where I was at. And I forgot his name. It's been a minute. But me and him got cool. We was hanging a lot. But he felt like he was like, his face looked like one of the guys on the Egyptian in the gold with the with the thing that they be having over their head in the Egyptian. He felt like he was an Egyptian or somebody of that caliber or of that family. I forgot the brother name, but he used to sell. We on the trains. He was good at making sales with it's like I would say pocket knife, but it was a lighter that you could flip a knife out of. Like a lighter, but you can also flip a knife. So he would sell those. That was his selling item. I would sell my alkaline water and alkaline tea. So this was in the time of 2000. This was about the time of 2007. Around that time, this must have been before I got my. I think this was before I got my place in Little 5 Points. So between 2007 and 2009, I was out making sales around Atlanta on the train, in the streets, and making sales and stuff like that. And I guess this is between that time. Thankful that came about, to think about that. So when this brother, he used to work at the Underground. That's where I met him at. He worked at one of one of the restaurants at the Underground. He used to work there. So that's where we connected and what have you. So, like I said, I meet a lot of people, talk all the time. So, like I said, he ended up needing some place to stay. He came over, stayed with me for a minute, and he ended up leaving like a little camera. And I remember He ended up leaving. I guess he left for a long period of time. I hadn't seen him for a long while, for almost a year or two, about a year or two or whatever. I think at this time when I seen him, I had my business going on then in little 5 points. And he said, "Man, I told you about my little camera." I said, "Yeah, I got it." He was shocked that I had it because I set it to the side. When I get something, I try to hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? If they left it in my care, and that's scripture too. That's scripture. Someone leaves something to you, you're supposed to take care of it. At least until you find out if they pass or something. I guess I don't know, but if someone gives something to you, you're supposed to take care of it. So I kept it. He was shocked. That really impressed him. That when he saw me after a year and a half or something like that, he came back and I had it for him. I said, "Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got to put up." So and that was at that time. I'm make a long story short. Is I had a few things. Okay, no, I'm thinking about some visions I had at this time as well, but this was afterwards. I was at my shop at this time. Now, come across the time, like I said, in 2007, this is when I met this brother named Chris. Got the machine. I think I shared all this last week. I'm just backtracking as I move up. Got my machine. Some that Mitch told me about the machine, the alkaline water machine, and what it does for the body. I did all my research on it, looked it up, and it was in 2005 at this time. But in 2007 when I met Chris, this guy named Christopher Graham. He was a Jamaican, and he was telling me about the alkaline water, and it hit me in my head. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. I remember about that. I started getting water from him until I got my machine. I got my machine the day after my Earth Day in 2007. That's when it came. I ordered it, came the day after, and then I shared other information on that. Went to Mississippi. Someone was supposed to be getting it and didn't, and a lot of things happened that I shared last week on that. Trying to make sure I make a recap because something I may have missed. So after that, only thing that I can remember at this point, only thing I can remember after that, other people may come in and fill in the blanks. But that's mainly what I was doing. Just being me, out running, doing what I'm doing, making sales and making friends and getting to know people. My boy Dawa, he was a massage therapist. I never really had a massage, nothing like that at the time. Really didn't know too much about it. Um, uh, Him and Sharice Nicole. Sharice Nicole, she was a singer in Atlanta as well. I think she's in not Dubai. I think she's in what's that in there over there by Mexico? Bala, can't think of the name. But these names is really skipping my mind right now. But I believe she's in another part of the world right now. But her name was Sharice Nicole. She was a singer. She used to be on WGP, is it WGPR in Little. She used to be at the radio station at Little 5 Points Community Center. She was a cool person that they used to run. First, her and what's called how I met her was through my boy Joseph Cox, and actually we call him Hectic the Backpacker. So Hectic, me and him was really cool. We've been knowing each other for a while. He's actually a producer. He's the one who actually reproduced, should I say. He redid my Keep It To Yourself. He redid the end. He redid Keep It To Yourself, the end, the Juice. Michael Harris. I ain't heard that one yet. That one's still been in the background. No, he did the Juice, and this is another one he did. I know it was 4 of them. The end, the Juice. Oh, and Repent. I don't know how to get that one to shoot. He hit that. I was like, whoa. He did Repent for me. So, but Keep It To Yourself still can sound like the original that I made, but he hooked those other 3 up. He hooked those up. So that's Hectic the Backpacker. Me and him was really good friends. Trying to think of some things that happened in between there so I don't forget as I'm moving on. So that's one point of it. There's a lot of things happening in between that as well. Man, I just remember I was catching the bus all over town out in Atlanta. I mean, when I was in Georgia, Atlanta. Um, I think when it no, that was later on. I was about to talk about the big snowstorm that came, but or the ice, the snow that came. Then we got ice. I think that was in 2008 or 2010. But we in two. Oh yeah, dang! I almost forgot about that. But I ain't got there yet because I'm still. Cause 2009 is when I started there. So around 2006 and 2008. I remember it did snow around that time, but it was that's when a lot of people talking about they couldn't find a job and things like that. At this time, I'm doing alkaline water, but people couldn't get a job much. And was that like a depression at that time? I kept hearing people talk about it, people going to the unemployment and things like that in 2008. So something big happened in 2008. I really wasn't aware of because I wasn't working like the regular 24 hour. I wasn't really working. You know what I'm saying? I was doing my own thing, and I wasn't hustling like illegal, as they say. But at this time, I was making myself with the alkaline water and tea. Say again, baby. Is it snowing? It's snowing out there now, y'all. And we got snow. It's the ninth because it was snowing earlier today.
It's accumulating now.
9th of November, the first snow. The 9th of November, Sunday, the 9th of November, the beginning of the second week of November, we have snow here in Detroit. So just to put that out there while we're right here. So back to the conversation. Um, mm. So so it's just remembering a lot of different things that happen. So when I make my story, because I'm gonna tell you, there's gonna be a lot of people to fill blanks in what I'm sharing with you in these certain times that I've been going on. And like I said, me and Desiree, we still together. I go and visit her. Or was she? I think at this time she was still living in Atlanta until 2007. I think in 2008 she moved to Washington, and then she ended up moving to another part, and she came back and ended up moving to Washington with a cousin, came back, and then moved into another part of Georgia. I forgot where it was with a cousin or somebody like that for a minute. Then she moved out to Alabama to where her father and her grandmother and grandfather was, So she moved, and her brothers and her siblings. So she moved back home. Her and Dee Dee, Desiree and Dee Dee, they moved back there. Um, yeah, there was a certain part of my life as well. Just doing certain things. What you laughing about? She laughing because Dee Dee used to call me, right? I haven't heard from her in a while, but when Dee Dee called me, Micah, when Dee Dee was a trip, Micah, that's what he would call me. He'd say, Micah. And he'll say that because of a certain reason why he'll call me that. Micah, when he'll call me. What you doing, Micah? Am I right, baby? Is that it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was Dee Dee when he would call, And that's been since I've been back in Detroit. He would call. I haven't heard from him in a few years now. But yeah, when he would call, that's how he'll call. He'll call on me or just call me when we talk. But other than that, yeah, Dee Dee, yeah, he was a character. He was a character, And she had three siblings. She was the oldest, but she had three siblings. I had a great time. I can just say, when you sit back and look at your life and just go over your life, I think I urge everyone to do that. Sit back and just go over your life. Just go over everything you've been through and just look at where you are and the things you've been through. Not the other things that happened, but the things you've been through, your walk, your steps, your walk through life to where you are. I think everybody should sit down and just look at their life and just look at where they are compared to where they came from, and see what path you're on, It's kind of like going back over the path of where you come from whatever type of maze it is, and see where your path is leading you or where you're at in the path and where you're heading to. I believe everybody should do that. Because I did that, especially after going through my spiritual awakening. And I sit back and I look at the steps after going through my spiritual awakening. I start seeing how things start lining up for me to be in certain places at certain times, even to where I am today. So I just urge everyone to do that. Just wanted to insert that in because this thing keep trying to change. So I want to insert that so people can get a better understanding of what we need to do and they can see where they are at in their life. So 2008, I think I shared that. That's when I really started getting DVDs, knowledgeable DVDs in 2008. This I got one when Jordan Maxwell was talking about when he was talking about the banking system and things like that. And I was like, I've always been studying that. And like I said, I had a 6-hour VHS tape in 97. In 97, I had a 6-hour VHS tape that's talking about all the stuff that's going on today. And stuff that hasn't happened yet or is happening that I'm seeing happening. I had a 6-hour tape. Still got it, but it's kind of, it's kind of warped a little bit when it's playing. Zips up. So if it can be fixed, I have a lot of information on there, and I still have it here though. That's why I remember a lot of information that I've retained. I have retained since my growth. I've had a lot of information. A lot of stuff got damaged, and I haven't even got to that yet. Because did I? Because when I was staying here, I had a lot of stuff in storage. It just him. I think I shared that though. Nope, I haven't gotten to that yet because I think I mentioned it last week because I think I flashed to that for a moment. If I didn't, I talked about it in another broadcast because this brother called himself the Voodoo Priest on Instagram. His name is Juan. Put all my stuff under his house, but that's another story. That's a story coming up down the line. So now I guess I can move to 2009 because I can particularly remember 2009 when I got 4 Corners of the Earth first. No, I think I had talked to this sister named Cozina, who was the owner of a 4 Corners of the Earth marketplace in Little Five Points in Georgia, which is near Atlanta. Little Five Points. When you go down, I can't remember the name of that street. It was Lynch. Is it Lynch Street? The main street down Little Five Points, the strip down Little Five Points. When you come so far down, it's like a little pub right there, and then 4 Corners of the Earth sit right next to it. And I was staying there. Not staying there. There you go. I was staying there. What's up, bro? How you doing?
What's going on, man?
I'm glad to see you, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's all good. Just finish your story, bro.
Yeah. So I was just I was at 4 Corners of the Earth marketplace. So this is when I got Cozina. Cozina gave me the information. Well, not information. I went and talked to her about getting a place because I had been going around town selling my alkaline water, alkaline sun teas, right? And actually, my alkaline water at first, before I started the teas, I was doing alkaline water. And then there was in 2007. And then as I was in 2009, I was I talked to Cozina about getting a place at the 4 Corners of the Earth marketplace. So I pulled in, I talked to her. Matter of fact, I talked to her before because I think I talked to her about it in March, but I moved in April. Not March. March, April. Yeah, I talked to her about it in March, came to her, and she ended up seeing me. I remember I used to always go to this place called Willie's. Matter of fact, got to put that in there. Willie's is my spot. I used to treat people there, but I used to always get vegan. When I used to take people there, I wouldn't buy no meat for nobody because I didn't eat meat or flesh. Let me put it like that. I didn't eat flesh. So if I treated somebody, I said, come on, you know. And I said, but I'm not getting no flesh for you. I get, you know, I'll treat you, put everything on it, but I'm not getting no flesh. But I would treat people, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people that know me in Atlanta, that would just know me, period, wherever you went, they know that I used to treat them all the time. You know, all them, come on, let's go out there. Willie's was my spot. It was less expensive. And you know, it was a Mexican spot as well. It was a Mexican spot. So I would always go there. I would usually get the what would you call it? I started off with burritos, I believe, but my favorite was the nachos. The nachos. That was one of my favorites. The nachos and the burritos. Me and Desiree used to go there all the time. When she would come to town to visit, we would go there, eat, and then we would just hang together or be together, what have you. You know. But other than that, yeah, that is, I have to put, because that's my, even if I go back today, that's probably one of the main spots. That and also the Ethiopian spots. I like the Ethiopian when they have, I'm glad I put this out there. They have some, it's not pita bread, but I forgot the name of it. Says I haven't been in Atlanta for a little bit. But it's this bread, it's real soft, kind of like flat pancake, but it's not pancake, but it's real soft. And they put all kind of veggies on it. You know, they got like lentils, they have greens, they have carrots, they have like a little sweet carrot, which come. They have about 4 or 5 different varieties on a big platter. Well, I eat that all day. My baby, it wasn't for her taste buds. You ain't like it too much, did you, Joanne?
What?
The platter at the Ethiopian restaurant.
Oh, no,
Say what?
no.
Why? Why you ain't like it?
I don't want to say the word nasty.
Well, that's nasty to you.
Yeah,
It's an acquired taste, but it was good.
Well, I will never acquire that.
That's because she used to. I almost said something myself. She used to this regular food here in Detroit,
No.
or just regular soul food. That's what she's
It
used
tastes like
to.
dirt.
It ain't taste like no
I don't
dirt.
know what dirt tastes like.
Okay then, so how can you say that?
It's the taste.
It just tastes different to her. She
the
just didn't
smell
like.
of dirt was
She
the
just
taste.
didn't like it. That's all.
No, I did not like it.
That's all. We'll just say that.
I did.
Let me putting this other people's food down, and this is another nationality.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay then, it's
I
another nationality.
apologize about the nationality.
Yeah, it's another nationality taste of food. So you just got to be inquiring. I've been around it, so when I go, that's what I
You
want.
eat everything.
Well, I do eat everything, as long as it ain't flesh.
Mikey.
As long as it ain't flesh, that means that it's edible.
As long as it ain't what?
As long as it ain't flesh.
Oh, no.
If it's flesh, it might be unclean.
This flesh, it is unclean.
Well,
It's
all
all
opinion,
unclean.
not all of it, but I don't eat it. But just sharing, that was another thing. Ethiopian restaurant I used to go to besides Willie's. So I make sure I put them restaurants out there so I can remember as well, because me and friends used to go to them all the time as well. So you know, just sharing the information on what's going on, what's happening, and just to put the remembrance out there, you know, for the things that has happened, what I did, where I've been. And in 2009, that's when I got my own little kiosk in Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace in 2009. April of 2009. I remember I started there in April 2009, and I started doing my dance classes in 2009 at the Little Five Points Community Center. And me and the sister, when I came in, talked to her, I said I'm going to do it every Friday. Had a good rapport, and mostly everywhere I go, when I do rent or something like that, I'm always on time. I always pay my bills. I'm always on point when it comes to me handling my business. So I was doing that for quite some time. at least until the following year. I did that I was there doing the dancing class for whoever came from 2009 to 2010. That was June of 2009 until I think we went to August, maybe September of 2010. But some things happened in between that time. Not according to the dance point, but man, a lot happened at this time. Now that I'm saying it, because in 2009 is when I started 9, 10, 7, 8. I remember 2009 is when I first started there. And the reason I'm looking at what I'm looking at is because how fast things happen. I feel like I was there a lot longer, but yeah, I was there. I was at the shop. Yeah, I was. I was there a lot longer. I just had to remember the way things was going because I looked past something. So what I mean is what I meant by this is this. I started at Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace as a kiosk, having my stable business, and I started the dance class in 2009. And also, I will always be out in the streets making sales. I'll be out in the streets selling my alkaline water, alkaline teas, and things like that. And I think last week I shared with y'all also in between in 2007, once I got the machine, this is when I ended up going to Cincinnati. And in Cincinnati, I couldn't get back to go get my children because I had just made it to Cincinnati. That was in 2007. I couldn't make it back to Mississippi because my mother called me. I had just left Friday or Saturday, caught the plane, which the brothers paid for, to go to Cincinnati. Now, this is in 2007 because I remember around the time frame. And I was supposed to be having court to get my children. After I made the trip, then my mother called me. As soon as I got to Cincinnati, off the plane and in the hotel, my mother gave me a call. That's how come when you sit back and look at your life and just examine, I can see this was by the Creator. It was the universe. I'm saying the Creator it was set up the way, because if I was in Atlanta, I'd have went to Mississippi to beat the case to get the children. But I ended up I was flown to Cincinnati with my machine to share it. I think I shared this last week, but it's on my mind right now. With the machine, and then as soon as I got there, my mother called me and told me, "Oh, we're gonna have the court gonna be Monday. Can you make it?" I said, "Mom, I just made it to Cincinnati. I ain't got no money." "Yeah, but they're gonna have the court." And my mother had the children at the time. So at this time, they're gonna make a decision on either giving it to me, giving it to my son and my daughter, to my daughter and my son, because she's older, from their mother, or from between me and their mother. Gonna give it to me or give them to her. But the judge already had me in favor because of what happened 2 years prior, because my mother had the children 2 years. 2005, 2007. Okay, good. I'm putting things together. So now I can't get back. I had no way of getting there because now I'm stranded. I'm saying stranded, but just got to Cincinnati to make a business deal, to make my business with my water and teas and stuff. Well, not teas, but my waters, and just make sales and stuff with the machine. And that's why I come to understand, if you sell the water, don't sell the machine. But sell the machine if you can. But mainly sell the water, because people need the water. A lot of people can't afford the machine. Understood that, right? It got in my head. I understood it. Couldn't make that. This was the Creator setting me up. And I understand it, because you got to see things and understand confirmations. After that, the weekend there, or there for, I think for about a weekend or about 4 or 5 days, then end up going back to Atlanta. So that was 2007. I had to bring that out to remember that point there. So back to 2009. I'm in Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace. Y'all been down in Little 5 Points, coming down the strip, go further on down, right past. It's a big. It used to be a school. They made into lofts. So you pass them lofts at across the street, and then go on down the street, and then you'll see Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace. Go in there and check the people out. Go in there and check the people out and just say the Jews and ask for Cozina or whoever, and say that this guy Juice Mikael, you tell Alkaline what, and you'll see my little kiosk where it used to be. It's still kind of set up the way I set it up, but other people have been there since I have, you know. But yeah, I always go by there to say hi to Cozina and friends when I go by there anyway, when I come down. But many people have stopped in and said, hey, and many not well-known celebrities, but the celebrities that we know that's, I say the underground celebrities, like Taj Tariq Bey, I believe his name is. He came through one time. We didn't really have a good conversation because he came, but he came on the strength of the brother. Well, that's another story. But he came. We didn't really get a chance to conversate like I wanted to because him and the other light-skinned brother, I forgot his name and had his. He'd been on a couple of documentaries. He used to come all the time. But Taj Tariq Bey, he came once that I can remember. But yeah, it was good to see him though, you know me. But I always try to be cool to everybody. But sometimes when you hear something from somebody else, you can tell the disdain in some people because of what they or who they know or someone that they know on the other hand. And you get somebody talking in your ear, they come and they already got a thought on who you are because somebody been in their ear. But he was always cool as far as I'm concerned, you know. He never act some no way towards me or nothing. Just the conversation just really wasn't, hey, you know, really wasn't really the conversation really wasn't deep. So but what's the name? Not Shaka Zulu. What's the name? Zulu Zulu Bambaba or Bambaba. What? See, I'm saying with these my man, the guy from the ones who made what's the name of that song, baby? You know, I know it probably come to your mind. Ooh.
Black Panther?
Not Black Panther. Bambaba out of the one.
Dundada?
Not Dundada. It's older than Dundada. It came out a long time ago.
Oh, you missing?
No. Yeah, it came out before Dundada. Dang, I can't remember their names. Names just go. Y'all don't believe. A lot of time once I get off here, names just come flying to me. But when I'm up here talking, I can't even think of them. But Bambaba, they did some what's that for?
That's 60.
That's 60? 60 what? I don't know what you're doing.
You know what I'm doing. No, baby, do you? That's 60. Naki.
Oh, are you talking about me? She making jokes.
No.
She want to make jokes.
That was funny.
Yeah, right. You gonna be there before me. Nah, don't say nothing. Nah, I tell your age. Talking stuff. So, Africa Ben Baba. Africa Ben Baba. Ben Baba, Ben Dada, whatever his name is. You know, the one, I can't think of the name. Planet Rock. There you go. They always come. The one who made Planet Rock. Yeah, their whole crew came in. And my boy. Play at your own. Yep. Exactly. They came through to see me. Planet Rock. Yeah. They came through to see me. There's been a few people, like I said, celebrities, underground celebrities, they came through to see me and whatever. Got my alkaline water, they would come through. I got pretty well known across, from what I'm hearing, from the ear, across the country. People all over, when they would come to Atlanta, they would come down and come to see me over there, what's called. Matter of fact, man, I forgot to say this. When I was in the shop, y'all remember, what's old boy name? I actually had his, I've given it, India Irie, me and her, I've given her some water at times, when we was a little 5 Point. Tiny, which is T.I.'s. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all something. When it was making, this is in 2005. 2005. I forgot to tell y'all when they was making this movie called Jelly Bean at Cascade. It was going to be called Jelly Bean, but it was a hit movie with T.I. being the star in it. It was a hit movie. The beginning, they were going to call the movie Jelly Bean, but they ended up calling it ATL. I forgot to tell this. Boy, that just hit me. See, I'm glad I'm telling stuff that's coming back. This was in 2005. Matter of fact, I don't know if I shared this already or not, but this was in 2005, and this was the last time I talked to my Uncle Joseph, which is Butch and Junior and Butch's father. This was the last time I talked to him before I knew he even passed. But it was in 2005. I was at, they was filming at Cascade Roller Ring. And let me share with y'all what happened. I wanted to take a picture for my daughter's Earth Day. And, I guess, some people, I want to take a picture, just have a picture with T.I. But, some men, people try to be hard. I don't want to take no picture with no man. So, I don't know. He ain't never said nothing. He never act like anything, but we never got a chance to take that pic because I was going to send it to my daughter for her Earth Day, right? So, we didn't do it. I was going to do it on the phone. But at Cascade, everybody was taking a break. Everybody was skating and doing like we all was in this is when they were taking shots at the skating ring. And we all taking a rest, right? I remember us being on one side near the corner and on the other side, near the regular floor, it was another group of people over there. So it was somebody over here, that got up on the floor and did a move. They danced on the floor, right? And the next thing you know, one person on our side got up and did a move. Somebody on their side did a move. Somebody on our side somebody over there did a breakdance move. I cut it up. With it, I did the same thing I did in Germany. I got out there, I was there, I did a couple of moves. I went and I did swipes to the wind. Well, I did swipes to the. It was a three combination I did. I think I did some moves. I think I went into the swipes, to the windmill, to the backspin, and I jumped up. Everybody on my side and their side came over there. Woo! Let me play and everything. It was tight. And you see how that adrenaline come? That's how when memory hit you back, it comes back up. But when I did that, boy, everybody came up. Even I think T.I. and them came up because they was over there looking at everything. They even rolled down on the skates and gave me a little play of what happened, So that was. I just remembered that point right there, for the shooting of ATL. I remember that. Well, it was actually called Jelly Bean. They were gonna call it Jelly Bean at first, but they ended up calling it ATL when it came out. So that just hit me, man. That was like a point in my memory. Just hit bing. That's why I'm telling the story so I can remember some things. So yeah, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, man, this is like I said, it's a lot of stuff that I've done while I was gone from home. When I left Detroit and on my journey for 22 and a half years, on my journey and then making it back home, I've traveled. The Creator has allowed me to take a great vacation. That's what I look at it. It was a great, beautiful vacation. I learned a lot before coming back home. And this is why I understand that home is where your inheritance is. But I had to go and learn the things I had to come to learn just to share this point. Go out to learn what you need to learn to know when you come back home to where your inheritance is. But everybody got to get in that position. That's a whole difference. So now back to 2009. April. And in April, I did the dance. I had my dance classes, and I had my kiosk at Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace. So the dance class was at Little 5 Points Community Center, Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace. They're right down the street from each other. When you come down the strip, about a block and a half away, or about a block, if not a block and a half away, the community center sits right there. So just thinking on that, was there. Now I'm there. I'm building my brand. We're still going around town making sales. Then as I'm accumulating in knowledge with DVDs. Then I started getting into crystal packets, which is the crystal that you can make into lemon crystals, ginger lemon crystals. Where you can, like from the Chinese store. I was selling those. I was selling incense. I was selling a lot of things that people need or what have you. People was coming to buy from there as well, and then I was getting all these DVDs, which was one besides the water. A lot of people's coming to buy the knowledge, the information that I had. Like I said, I have a lot of DVD information, right? So next thing you know, now I'm looking to say, okay, man, I want to start. I want to start doing some. I don't want to say seminars or classes mainly on this knowledge on this sovereign knowledge. That's all that was coming to my mind. I think it's about being sovereign. It's about knowing the banks, knowing the information. All that stuff was coming to me. So I'm getting it, but I didn't know how to apply it. So I knew people that would come by. I had several people come by. Yeah, I said, man, man, I want to get together with you so we can try to share with people the information with the people so we can start to get them to know the information. Some will come, then they'll leave. Won't see them. Come and go. Come and go. A few people did that. Some people come every once in a while. Yeah, okay, and they gone. I said, man, I wanted to get something together. End up, my boy An, that would come by the shop every once in a while. He said, man, I know somebody that know the information, this and that. I said, okay. So when he did come, the brother, his name was Calvin Wakil El Bay. Matter of fact, Taj is the one that supposed to told him after he learned, because he was really knowledgeable in it, but he had no structure. I'm not going to say that. I will say that right now because he didn't have no structure in it, but he knew it. And if you took, he's more like coming, he'll tell you this, bam, he'll break it down. But it wasn't structured. And I was telling them, man, you ought to structure it up and tell them where they can get this. That way you can learn it, because I couldn't learn it the way he was giving it. You need to be structured so you can be like, okay, this is the level, we get this, bam, 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 bam. That way when you get it in a structure like that, you got it because it's in a category. That's how I teach, same with my dance classes. So An ended up bringing them in, and he came in, and they came into the little four corners of their marketplace, walked to the back, and they said, and I took them to the back because I was kind of like semi-manager because I was there, I think, longer than everybody else. So I went back there, and then he said, yeah, but this is going to be small, this and that. I said, what if I tell you I got a spot? This sister named Tuere, she had a nice spot that we ended up calling it the ice box, because when it got cold, when it got like in the wintertime, it was already November. Excuse me. When it got to December, it got cold. But it was at this place called I forgot where it is, but it's not too far from, because you can catch the MARTA to the memorial stop, and it's walking distance from there. From downtown, let's say from 5 Points to the second stop is the Twin Towers. The third stop is the Memorial, from what I remember. The third stop was Memorial. And Memorial area, from what I remember, that's what it was. We can get off and you can walk there, but for people who was coming. So this is where it was located. If we can remember exactly where, I can't think of, but it's near downtown still, downtown Atlanta. So that's where I took them to that spot. Took them there, and they looked around and said, man, yeah, this would be good. It was kind of warm at the time, though. Still in November, it's still kind of warm. Man, this would be good. Yeah, we can have our classes here. I said, okay. Now this was like in August or September, around August or September. And when An brought him in, and this was in 2009, and I said, okay, let's do this, because I'm gonna try to set it up, and we're gonna start November 1st. November 1st, we're gonna start these sovereign classes. I was over it, but he was the teacher, because I was over the place that Tuere had, but she introduced it to Hector. Like Joe Cox, Hector the backpacker, she introduced it to him. He brought me in, and me and him was gonna start having parties there. But then, everything was all right. We was gonna try to have conscience party, or at the time, he didn't drink or do anything. I didn't smoke at all, no way. I was vegan and I didn't smoke or anything, and he didn't smoke or anything at the time. I don't know if he's doing anything now or not, but just saying, we both. So he wanted to have like conscience. How did he call it? Conscious, sober. He called it sober conscience, sober something. I forgot, whatever he called it, sober something. That's what he wanted to have. But we hadn't started anything, and that was before that time. So around the time when he came, I introduced it to him. Then in October, I took him there. I said in November 1st is when we're going to get started. So now I'm promoting it. Zen, I think I shared it with y'all as well. Zen, which is another brother who ended up coming back, connecting back with me after a year or two. He said, man, I was on the train one day. I was on the train. He ended up being good friends with me. He ended up being real good friends with me, right? I was on the train. I remember you when I first saw. I remember you. I remember you. You sold that water. You sold that water. I was ready to fight. That was you sold it, man. When you gave me that water, I took the water. I felt something come up my neck. And man, my brain said, woo. I was like, really? And he had been in another incident long before I know him. And he I don't know if he had just got out of it, but he had an incident, Zen. Now he is passed. Some of the people know him in Atlanta. And anybody know me in that time, y'all should know who I'm talking about, right? So Zen, and he was I could say an empath, a medium. Spirits would come through him. I may have shared that with y'all last week. I may have, I may hadn't. But spirits would come through him, right? So, when I say spirits, not just jump in like that, but like he would be in the spirit at a certain time. Sometimes you couldn't tell, but I got to it, and I see sometimes when his eyes get a little beady. I said, okay, it's a spirit in him now, because he'd be a certain type of way. He'd be a certain, you could just tell, but it was just that he was like in Ghost, he was like Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost. If y'all understand the movie Ghost, he was like Whoopi Goldberg. And I thought about that today. I mean, one time, I'm gonna say it since it's in my mind. I remember when we all had a house together, me, Zen, and Tay. We had a house together, right? I remember Tay was going to work, me and Zen, we just sitting down in the house, we was just talking, and he was sitting right in front of me, just like I'm sitting with y'all. And he just looking, started laughing, like, you know what? I'm your higher, what do you say? I'm your higher, not higher being. I'm your, he said, it was a warrior. I'm your something warrior or it was like a warrior or somebody. And I said, okay. I just listened. He just said there, he said what he said to me. He said, I'm your warrior or something. I said, okay. I just listened. But then, sometimes it ain't gonna be like a long period of time, just like before a moment or whatever. But I remember him saying that to me. And a lot of stuff that has happened, not with him, with me, but just other information that has come my way. I don't want to say ultimate warrior, your spirit warrior, your spirit something. He said, I'm your spirit warrior, your spirit something, whatever it was. He said, I'm your spirit warrior, your higher spirit warrior, something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was said. That's what he told me. So, but that was in the following next year, which is in 2010. But as I was saying, that when now this is the ice box. This is where I was at, the ice box, the spot where I took Calvin, Wakil El Bay, and I took On. I took them there to check it out, And they like, man, yeah, okay, this is a good space. Yeah, this will be good. I said, okay, we're gonna start in November 1st, we're gonna start. And we're gonna let a lot of people know we putting me, and that's why I'm talking about Zen. We putting flyers out, letting people know we're about to have these sovereign classes. If y'all want to learn how to stand in the courts, we got these classes we about to start. If you want to know how to do this, we got this class. We got this brother gonna be teaching this class. And blah, 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 blah. We out there promoting, letting people know. Me and Zen was out there running, letting people know, right? So we was getting everything together. I don't know what happened in between that time. I mean, whatever comes, it'll come to memory. So I don't know what happened in between that time. But when the time of November came, yeah, it was November. It's always November, ain't it? Something about November. And I just said November 1st before, and now we got two other things that we probably having deadline for. It's something about that November, y'all. But November, guess what? November is 9. 9th month. Completion. That's why. It just hit me. November is actually the 9th month. November, no.
The month of completion.
The month of completion.
Oh, I gotta get this done.
Completion. We see that, and it just hit me. It's a lot of stuff going on right now, y'all. You see how things is coming together? November, I didn't even know to say no. I didn't even understand why I even said November then. Stuff is coming up right now for November that we got in the private that we're talking about. And there's so much other stuff that's coming about that we're coming to understand.
Everybody was talking about November.
Everybody talking about, and by you just saying that, I thought about the name and then I thought about the number. Everybody think it's the 11th month. This is actually the 9th month, which is completion. 9 means completion. So, remember, I just got to mention not too long ago, I started learning about numbers. Stones, crystals, organized energy conductor, all kinds of stuff I started learning about. Stuff that I didn't know that was in the Bible, that is in the Bible, that's of the Bible that I didn't know nothing about, that I was learning and picking up and things like that. But then we even got a book in the Bible called Numbers, written out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that people need to know. So November again, like you said, baby. So in November, guess what? 7 people came. I counted it out. 7 is spiritual. It was only 7 that we had for our first meeting, but 7 people came. So that was the beginning, and 7 is spiritual. So 7 people came. Calvin shared information there. Then we had a couple of other brothers that was of more. One was more. Well, I think one was more. I think it was 2 different more. There was 2 different. They just had conversation. Calvin was sharing information. His other brother came. He was sharing some information, and I got to know other more sects, SETS, whatever you call it. Sects. I sound like sex, but sects. But yeah, I got to know a lot of different people, a lot of different. I'm just gonna say organizations. I'll just put it like that. So as a few of them came. We all had a conversation there. It was only about 2 besides the other people that came. But then we kept it going every week. And every week it got bigger. And it get bigger at first. It started off small. Like I always tell everybody, when you start something, like when you got a bucket of water, you stick a stick in it and you start to stir. And stir. And the more you stir, the momentum starts. Same thing with anything you start. Whatever you start, it has to have a momentum. Yeah. That momentum, and the momentum will take on its own momentum, its own course. But you got to get it started first. So that's how I share information on that level. But we started. Next thing you know, people started to come. November, people started to come. Then December came. Then it started getting cold, but people was coming faithfully. We started growing, and Calvin was mainly taking the numbers, and I'm gonna tell you how the funds and stuff went, but because I can tell you, but it's kind of personal, but the way things going. But I just say this: I had already said from day one. I said what we're gonna do is mainly it was a $5 entry because we had to pay for the place. and for the teacher, what have you. So I already told him, I said, what we're gonna do is we'll split the funds. I said, I get part, you'll get part, and the other part was supposed to go to Hector because he's supposed to be part of it. But when he pulled out, it was already to go to the building. Matter of fact, that's what it was for me, for him, and the building, and for Hector. Hector pulled out, then it was just for whatever it was for me, him, and for the building, whatever came in. But really, whatever was coming in, I was paying for everything anyway. I would give him whatever for teaching because the little fund that was coming in, I was making sure everything got paid from me. I was making sure everything was done because I was the facilitator, as far as I'm concerned. So we started growing, and then we got to, it was so cold, people would come, we'd be in there cold because they didn't have any type of ventilation. It was just like a building. We had chairs and everything there, and we had this sister coming in, seen her name the other day, but the sister come in, she did vegan food before going to Florida. She back in Atlanta now. But she was doing vegan food, and it got cold. We had a lot of people coming there. We got one Third Eye Vision, I think his name is, on Instagram. Another brother. I believe he's in the Bahamas or somewhere like now. But I've been seeing him on online every once in a while. I think it's Third Eye Vision, but I can't remember if that's the name now. That just was coming to my mind at the moment. But a lot of people that we got to know was coming through, and then it got cold. It was getting so cold. We said, we got to find rethink somewhere else. I went and got a room at the Little 5 Points Community Center. Now I'm doing mine. But before that, we were doing it on Mondays. Then it got to the point where people was wanting to get more information. So we started doing it on Mondays and Wednesdays. So now we having the classes on Mondays and we having the classes on Wednesdays because people started to grow, people started to come. Some people couldn't come at a certain time, but they was coming to both classes, right? Then it got to the point where I had to find another place, and then that's when I went and got Zen was helping me the whole time. He was with me the whole time. I went and got a class or a room in Little 5 Points Community Center. So, and I think it was January of 2010. Yep. And that reminds me of like when I was doing over here in 2000. I don't know if I think I shared with y'all about and I jump from back and forth like that sometimes. I shared with y'all about where I was dancing at here in Detroit, over there on Leland and 6 Mile. But same thing happened like that. You cold? Mm. So in January, we started the classes in Little 5 Point Community Center. So now we started, and it's starting to grow. People are coming, the word is getting out, the class is getting big and stuff like that. I'm collecting that dough, and I'm selling my alkaline water and teas as well, But I'm honest with what I do. I'm keeping my money to the side, and the money that we would get, and it was starting to grow, and it was getting ready to start paying for itself, right? Meaning the classes was beginning to pay for itself. People was coming, and the thing was, when he wasn't, because he worked at the hospital, he will always get there like an hour and a half late. So what I would do, I would get somebody to come and sit in, or come in, not sit in, but someone to handle everything from the beginning. I think he started at 9. I think we started at 6. He would come in like about 6, 7, 8. He would come in like about 9 o'clock, 8:30 or 9 o'clock. I think we would start at 6 o'clock because people, some people was catching trains and buses and stuff like that. So I would have someone start everything off, and they would take care of the class for an hour and a half or 2 hours before he would get there. And then I give them some change out of the situation as well, because that's what everything was going for, or that was coming out of it. But I had a few speakers there. KT, the Arts Degree, which is Dr. Savy's, he's Dr. Savy's son through Michelle, from what they shared with me. He would come and he would speak, and he's on YouTube and things like that as well. I had another brother that used to run with Dr. Sabi. He was good with plants and stuff like that. Then it was another elder out of New York who had his own bookstore in New York, and this is the same brother. He was an elder that let me know it was a book that he had that I looked at, and he's the one who told me. He said when you were 19, when you were 29, you went through something. Because I guess it was in that book, because that was the book that the book was drawn to me. I ended up picking up and looking at it. In 2009, you went through something. You went through something, and it was spiritual or something. I said, yeah, how you know? He said, yeah, this and that. He was just, but he knew. Then he said, look up Saturn's return. And that's been stuck with me ever since. Saturn's return. When you're 29 years old, 29, 28, going into 29, or when you're 29 years old, that's around the time of your Saturn's return. This is your first trimester or your first engagement to your I don't know how would you say, when you're going through a transition. You're going through a transition from childhood to young adult or to adulthood. And your next 29 years, which is what we just passed, which is 58, I do believe. Yeah. 58 would be the next term for your next level of your Saturn's return, your next level in life. These are different levels in life people go through. So in the first 29 years, you're learning life. The second 29 years, you're going through life, establishing and building, and then you should be in your next one. That's when you should be more on a extra or a higher level of maturity. I put it like that. So, and he's one who shared that with me, but he was one of the ones that would come and he would speak every once in a while as well. And he stayed off of MLK, not too far from the MLK station, the Martin Luther King station. I'm just in my mind. He wasn't too far from there. I haven't seen or heard of him in quite some time. But when I moved with Tanisha, that's coming up. We was right around the corner from him, right around the block from him, practically. But back to that time. So now we're at in January of 2010. We're starting at the Little Five Points Community Center, and this is we had it's called solving. One solving classes, not but it was called solving classes. That's all. We didn't have no name to it. Just solving class. Captain Wakil Bailey was the one who was teaching the class at the time. I was learning, and I was still trying to get it, but like I said, his wasn't structured. Then he had this other brother who I was friends with at one time on my last Facebook. I don't know, we might be friends on here now, but I think his name was Adam. Was it Adam Sparks? I think his name was Adam. But he got good in his information. He was Calvin was teaching him on the side so he can come in and start off. And he started off with a good curriculum at first before Calvin came. So he came in, he was starting to teach, and I was beginning to pick it up a little bit before. Now, this was January. Now, it came around in 2010, around the time of April. Yeah. Yep, it's around the time of April or mid-April. He said, well, the equinox and this and that coming in. And before that, he tried to share with me and Zen. Before that, he tried to share with me and Zen about doing our UCCs. And he was just so honest about it, Father. I said, okay, I didn't really know. I'm still trying to understand. Saying, no, man. He talked to me and Zen didn't say nothing about it at first in front of him, but Zen just absorbing it. And like I said, he's a medium. The Father has always protected me. I've always been protected. I thank you, Almighty. And I think he was my protector in a sense, even though he was his own man. You all right, baby? Go lay down. Go lay down. And go down there then. Get up. Get up. Come on.
I'm getting ready to.
Okay. like I said, the Creator always protects me because I could have gotten into some trouble, and I found that out later. I'm gonna share that with you as well. But the Creator, I thank you, Almighty, for always being my protector, and He always has. And this really looking at it right now, looking at this, because I didn't even really realize and understand that I was being protected until right now as I'm speaking to you. And I'm gonna tell you how. Calvin and I had a conversation today. I'm the type, I'm not going to put you out there and see what you're going to do and say, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it before I do tell somebody to go out there. If I'm going to put myself on the front line first. Okay, let me see what's going to happen. I ain't going to try to set nobody else up. If it's something I'm trying to do or I want to see, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to learn it first, then I'm going to do it, and then I'm tell y'all, come on. I'm leading the way. I'm not going to try to put a scapegoat out there. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, I ain't going to do that. Let me put somebody else out there. I don't do that. That's not me. That's not my character. So, I don't know if that was going on or I didn't understand it at the time. But after Calvin told Zen, I want you and Mikael and Zen, I'm going to try to do the UCCs and we're going to try to get together and do this and then get the whatever. And I'm like, sound all right to me. I don't know. Because I was ignorant. I was still learning. I was trying to get it. When Cal said, okay, we're going, I said, well, me, myself, I said, well, we'll talk about it. We'll see. We'll talk about it. I ain't never once said, yeah, I do it. No. I said, we'll see. We'll talk about it. What happened, don't look to me to just, okay. I don't do that. So, unless I know something about it, then I say, okay. But then after Calvin left, Zen, I just seen Zen, like he said, man, he want us to do them UCCs. Man, you get him. And Zen was mad. I was like, what's wrong? I said, he cool. He seemed like he honest to me. Man, he wanted to do it. And Zen can never tell me why he didn't want to do it or why he was mad about it. It was the spirit on him. Like I said, he was a medium. And I was being protected and I'm seeing that now as I'm talking to you. I was being protected because I would have did it and I know I probably ended up in jail. A lot of people went to jail because of things that somebody did. I ain't gonna say no names. I ain't gonna say a lot. A few people did because they try to rush the price. A lot of people trying to rush to get the money. They try to get the money. I'm not like that. That's not me. But other people rushing trying to get the money. So they became, as far as I know, I wasn't in it. I wasn't among it. My main thing is, like I say, get your foundation, get this information, and when you go to court, you know how to handle yourself in court. All this other stuff, I'm not stepping into something I don't know. When I know it, I'll step into it. I'm going to learn it first. Then I'm going to step into it. But I'm not stepping into something in waters that I know nothing about. Observe it, see what's going on, and then I'm going to tell you, okay, yes, I'm going to do it, or no, I don't think that's for me. But I'll check it out maybe later. I'll learn more about it. But at this point in time, no. I'll let the person know. So that's just me. So like I said, Zen was mad. I didn't understand why. He never really gave me a reason why. So I know it had to be a spirit on him because, I just thought about it. Something else that happened. So, but Zen knew somebody to make cards. So Zen knew somebody to make cards, like little cards. So I'm saying, okay, man, this about time we start getting some cards made, and then now it's getting to the point where I'm thinking that now it's time to expand. It's time to make some things happen. And I was just ready. To start saying, maybe we need to make an account. We need to probably make an account because me and Zen know somebody to do the card. Because Zen had the guy make a card for him. Zen had somebody make a card for him, right? So I said, okay, Zen knew somebody to do that. They had the cards made for you and stuff like that. I said, okay, so Zen had a card made. Now this is like I said, this is around April. April. Hadn't got June yet. Yeah, around April, going into May, around that area. And he, who's that?
What's going on?
I don't know. I just heard something. Um,
I'm about to go home.
so now it comes to the point in time. Now, so maybe sit my train of thought.
That dandelion tea.
You had it? I ain't had it.
You had some yesterday.
Yep.
That it worked.
Mm-hmm. So what happened was after Zen, I'm coming back to my train of thought. After Zen, oh yeah, equinox. He's talking about it's equinox, whatever coming up. So this coming up. So then a calendar coming. Well, the equinox coming out, and I'm thinking that maybe it's time that that at this point in time, maybe I can go ahead and start taking over the class and this and that. And he kind of said it in the way where I really understand, but I'm listening. Now he taught me and him talking. His spirit is talking to me. I mean, not his spirit. He's talking to me, but my spirit is like, but I overruled my spirit. My spirit is like, no, I don't think you should take it over because I'm the one who put it together. I'm the one who got everything together. Now he wants to take over everything because you see the funds is beginning to pick up. And people by their conversation. I've learned this, but I didn't pay it any attention, huh? What did I do? You got stuff in the freezer, in the washer?
I gotta go.
Huh?
I have to put stuff in the washer.
Well, I'll take care of it after you do that, okay?
All right.
All right, baby. My baby tired. So as I was saying is that
It's one sheet.
all right, sweetie. My baby tired. She's been working all day. So now the equinox he was talking about, so he's saying that he wants to take it over or whatever. So I'm listening to him. I overruled my spirit. The flesh overruled the spirit because my spirit was like, it didn't say it, but I was just feeling, no, I don't know, I should do that. I said, okay, we'll talk about it, whatever. I end up going home, I'm up here, I'm fighting with myself. I said, he seemed like a nice guy. He seemed like he know what he's doing and whatever. Not realizing that I'm giving up what I put together. I didn't even realize it. I'm giving it up. I'm giving up the classes that I got, even though I had him teaching it. I'm the one who put it all together. I got the places and everything else. And end up, like I said, I overruled my spirit, not realizing now I come to understand when something bothers me, I gotta start going with it. Usually when it bothers me, I do, but at this time it wasn't on a negative, it was more like on a kosher, friendly type. So I was like, I don't know, but I ended up overruling it, and I just said, okay, yeah, I guess you can start collecting the money and stuff like that, right? So now, instead of me being the person that's putting everything together and getting everything together and doing the stuff that I'm doing, now he didn't hire these girls, these women, because he already, remember I told you he already hired, not hired, he taught one young man to come in, teach the beginning of it, so I guess he was planning it. And I didn't see stuff coming to me now that I didn't really know just by talking. Stuff is really coming to me now, see, and this was needed. By me speaking now, I'm seeing things more than what it was. Because before it just happened. But by me talking about it now, I'm seeing things. By me talking about it. So I'm sitting up here. I done got everything together but now he talks me into taking everything over. Now, I'm the one who comes in, get the chairs together, get everything set up, me and Zen. Me and Zen come in, we make flyers, we doing all this other stuff. But now, he got the young brother teaching the class, and he done got about 4 or 5 women. Nasty, feminist attitude women, right? One of them had a big booty, and she knew she had a nice body. But she was, when I say nasty, boy, she fronted me in the hallway. I almost knocked her out. I wanted to slap her down the way she was nasty and the way she wanted to, and I'm the one who got all this together. You won't come on me? They would treat me like I was nothing. Then it looked like the disrespect really started coming. Everybody's really looking at him, not knowing that I'm the one who really put all this together. He was just teaching, and I was mainly holding it together until he came. Now, all of a sudden, I'm getting disrespected by the people that's coming that I actually, not the ones that I actually brought in, because I had a lot of them with me still in respect, but that I was just on the teacher. You know how people, the teacher, right? So by cause the teacher knowing something, they're practically bound to him. So now I'm sitting back, I'm beginning to see things. Now I'm not in the mix with everything going on. Now I'm back, I'm seeing things going on. I'm seeing how these females that he got now, how they acting towards the people. Snotty, snapping at people. I mean, one of them, I believe, was a dyke. The other one, she was just all full of herself. The one with the big booty I'm telling you about, tall and had a nice body. We had another one that was I think she wasn't the treasurer, but she was the secretary. And she was cool, but how people try to be cool, but they're not cool with you. And it was just, they had attitudes. It was nasty. So now this is 2010. Now it gets to the point in June. Like I said, all that has happened. In June, now they had to move. We got so big, we had to move from the room to the it was like the lunchroom in the little 5 Point Community Center. It was right at the back door. It's like the back door, then the parking lot is out here, right? But they had to come, you know how you go through the lunchroom? Because it was like an elementary school. But it was like the back door here, the coming from the corridor, like from the rooms and stuff is coming through. Then you had a door sealed here, just like you come to the lunchroom. But when you go outside, the back door is here, but the big room is where everybody was at. So we all in the room, and now this is in June. This is June. They've gotten all beside themselves. Now they've got all beside themselves. So the owners of the place is coming through, right? They just want to walk through and go out the back door. They didn't want to be in there in the class and nothing like that. They had the door. He got, I don't know if he had guards or whatever, or just people standing at the door now. Now he's trying to get it organized. I would have had it different. It would have been organized, but it wouldn't have been the way that it wouldn't have been like that. So they try to come through the door. They ain't want to come through the door. These are the owners of the place. They didn't want to come through the door. So they practically threaten them if they come through. And so I don't know if they actually come through or they had to go out and walk around. But what ended up happening is the manager that called me, the one that I'm the one who got him in. She knew it wasn't me and I had nothing to do with it because she knew that it was the class. I said, well, I'm not over the class. I was over the class at one time. I'm not over the class anymore. They're over the class now. But she talked directly to me because I'm the one who got him in, stuff like that. So after that happened that night, all of us went out to this pizza place off of Peachtree. So we over off Peachtree, and I'm sitting up, I'm on the phone with her, and she let me know, you can let them know their services isn't allowed. They're not even allowed to come even into the building anymore. She said, you're good. You can still do your dance class because, you had nothing to do with that. I wasn't in the mix. I didn't have nothing to do with it. That was them now. They done took everything over. They got kicked out of the building. And this is what made me realize, and I did realize this, when the Father got something for you, can't nobody do it no different than the way the Father have you to do it. They can't do it no better. They can't do it no worse. Whatever the Father have for you is for you. I already know that. I've been to too many situations to see it and understand it. I don't care how knowledgeable that brother was. I'm the one who put everything together. You know, he could have been, I ain't gonna say replaced, but somebody else could have been in the place that he could have been because I was already looking for somebody. But An brought him. So, but then now afterwards is now, you know, like I said, he was trying to get us to do the UCC. Now these people are going to jail. I'm hearing about people going to jail now because of certain things that he shared with them. Certain people going to jail because they did something that they weren't supposed to do. Or I don't know. I'm not going no more. They done moved on. I'm doing my own thing now. You know, I'm still doing my alkaline water. I'm still on the knowledge. I still got my DVDs and stuff like that, but I have separated from them. You know, but he ended up getting in contact with somebody that I knew that they moved their facility from there over to near the East Point area, right across from the train station. And I think I still got their information and stuff right now. If they're still there, I don't know. But like I said, I keep numbers. I keep information. And they was there with them for about 3 months. I think I ended up going up in there and just sitting down. And it's like people was shocked that I was there. You know, I don't have no enemies. I didn't make no enemies. I didn't put you out. You did that. You know, so, but I was trying to warn some people, even on at one time. I said, on. And you know, sometimes it's like a spirit that was blocking him from hearing me. I said, listen, I'm trying to tell you, man, you just jealous. You just this, whatever. He wouldn't listen. It's like, John, why you ain't hear this one? I was trying to tell people, you know, it got to the point was, like I am now. I ain't gonna say nothing. I stopped talking to people. I said, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Some people speak whatever. Then they start coming to me. Man, did you know this person, this and that happened? Did you know this and that happened? I said, for real, I'll tell them quick. I tried to tell you. Y'all wouldn't listen. Next thing you know, I started coming. Mike, do you know that? I said, I tried to tell you, didn't I? You wouldn't listen, but I tried to tell you. You had to find out for yourself. That ended up happening. So, going on with my life, you know, that was 2009, 2010. Then this was with me, Zen, and Zen. I'm still with Desiree, but long distance relationship. Me, Zen, and Tay, we ended up finding a house in East Point. We ended up finding a house in East Point, right? Tell the truth. You know me, I'm a daddy be known. And I'm doing this for my memory. I don't know who all listening, but this for my memory. We get a house, right? We get a house in East Point. Nice house, you know. Think it was 3-bedroom. Yep. Zen, Tay, and mine. Yep. 3-bedroom house. Nice house. You know what I'm saying? End up, I think the lights went out. Something happened. We didn't have no lights for whatever reason, right? I had one of them light bulb, which come, I didn't say transform, whatever, but you know, cut the light on. We would have light at night, and we'd take it off during the day. You know, save electricity and what have you. But we was there, and you know, and we was good. We was good there for a minute. And I still was at the Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace. I think it was 2009 or 2010 when Michael Jackson passed, when they say Michael Jackson passed, you know. I think it was around that time. Excuse me. 2009, 2010, I remember. I was in the little 5 Points at that time. I'm just trying to remember the little situations I can remember so far. Excuse me. So we ended up getting a house, and we had some bongos. One of the brothers that I knew, he stayed with us for a quick minute, and another brother stayed with us for a quick minute too. You know, we always trying to help our people out. One brother, we were actually, well, this is just another MCAT. He was another brother, like house music. I actually introduced him to another brother named Tone when I used to stay at I stayed at another place. I think this was in the time before in the time between 2005 and 2009, I was staying out in Snellville, I think it is. I was staying in Snellville at a this little Towns Inn, I think it's called. I think it was a Towns Inn I was staying there. I was staying there. I actually was the maintenance man there, you know. And this was I might as well say this now because I may have missed it, but I'm gonna put this in there. I think it was between 2007 and 2010 because like I had been bouncing around because I'm going through my punishment of when I first got my first apartment and I allowed someone in that shouldn't be there, not knowing, trying to help people, not knowing that I'm helping somebody that may have been getting whooped by the creator. And so now, after that apartment, now I'm here and there. So I'm at this. Just want to put this in there. This no, this in town suite. I think it was called. What have you? But it was like down. It's like it was on. What did I just call it? Small. I just said that Snellville, in Snellville, and it was like down in this area. In Snellville, off this main road. Forgot the name of the road. But I was the manager there for about a month, maybe two. For about a month or maybe 2 months, right? And I had free rent because did I have to pay something? I don't think I had to pay nothing. I think I had free rent because I was doing the maintenance for the place, right? Besides these two Mexican or whatever females that they was maintenance people too, doing certain things. But I would do the heavy work. So just sharing on this point of view, it was a couple people. One brother I knew had a room. His room was full. A lot of people stayed there. His place was full of paper. He had knowledgeable papers all over the place. I mean, he had everything, but he put it in paper, like Chris. All his stuff clean in packages, in binders of clear binders, everything. But he had all kind of knowledge. He knew where it was, like a library. But it was just like everything was printed out. Everything was printed. He put everything, put it up. It was printed out, right? That's one brother. There's another brother named Tony. His name is Tony, and he was, when I say this, I mean they stayed in the same in-town suite. This brother had stones. I really found a lot about stones from this brother. This brother had stones. He had, when I say what do you call it? It was something. It was big. He had a big old stone from my chest coming out here about that thick, and sitting up here, and he had stones and crystals all around the house. That's when I really started finding out about stones in general, not just looking at it and finding out about it. Matter of fact, he's the one that turned me on to stone. The DVD with Dr. Emoto, Messages in Water, gave me understanding about music, words, and things like that. He had me when I got there. That's when I started learning about the stones. So, I say he was actually mailing and he was collecting stones from around the world. This brother collected stones from around the world, and I believe he was selling them as well. But that was his thing, and I learned about that. I learned about those things from him. Them the main two people that I can think of. I knew of a couple more, but they're the main two people that I can think of stick out in my mind with something that can add value to this conversation that I can think of at the moment, and besides me staying at that in-town suite, and the manager, he was an ex-policeman, right? So he just, like I said, I'm that guy that love to be hate. People love to hate on me. I don't know why. So it was something going on kept trying to, I don't know if you're trying to fire me, trying to get rid of me or whatever. So there was things going on. And this the first time I seen a letter work. I used to go back and forth to Atlanta. Remember, I was telling y'all about me and Kaya, and we would go back and forth, not to Atlanta, we go back and forth to Mississippi because we had conferences there, we had family there. We would go back and forth to Mississippi. So at this one point in time, I think he was trying to fire me or trying to say something. I said, well, I'm about to go on a vacation or whatever. And whatever happened, it was some controversy going on between me and the brother. And he's supposed to be an ex-police officer, right? So I ended up writing a letter. I read a letter to, and this is the first time I ever did this. I wrote it to the CEO. I wrote it to the CEO, the manager. It was 4 different entities, not like what we do in the executive office, but like what we do in the executive office. 4 different entities. I think it was the vice president or the vice, whoever it was for the company, the vice president, the president, I'm gonna say the attorney general, the district manager, and the managers, all of them, because you're supposed to go stair step, but you're supposed to do it. What you call it? You're supposed to go in chain of command. So before I left, I mailed all of them off. It was a letter. I wrote out a letter, made copies. I mailed all of them to all of them. I was gone for about a week. It was either a week or a month. And I thought I was going long enough. When I came back, they said they had just got he was mad. He said they just got the letter on him, and this, and I think they was getting ready to fire him because of what I wrote. Whatever I wrote, I had my documents. That's the first. Thank you, Father. Showing me some things I did already and how it was implemented compared to what's going on right to the things I know today. So I did that then, not knowing what I was going to do, and didn't even know what I was doing, but I did it. And I don't know if it fired. I think he got fired behind that, And it was in nowhere. It was in no man's land, as far as I'm concerned, because don't no buses run out there in Snellville. Don't no buses run out there. So unless they even started now, but that's where Tony ended up moving from there to somewhere else out that way years later. That's when I ended up taking NCAP. NCAP. I mean, I guess I'm gonna say that right now because I can't remember the name right off. I got him in my phone, but I don't know if he still have the same number. But I got it. I think I got his email because his face still come up, so I still have his email. But NCAT, I believe it is. And introducing him to him, but and he was real. When it comes to stones, he was real like what you call him? Real, he was real, not vibrational. He was real, not emotional. He can really feel the vibrations from stones and stuff. He was real active, and he was like, and he was over. But that's later on down the line. But yet still, and introducing him to Tony, that was later on because he was actually him. Let me get back to that. I'm back to where we was at the house. Now me, MCAT, and I just wanted to put that in there because that was in between the time that needed to be said, just a point of memory that needs to be understood on that point of view. So now we're back to 2010. That was earlier. Now we're back to 2010, and I'm just gonna say this: we at the house, and like I said, we had 2 big bongos, me, Zen, and Tay. Now what I would do, I would get up early in the morning, and I would light sage. And I walk around the house, and I would say a little chant. And I walk around the house with the sage, around the whole house, sage in the whole house. I will almost look like I see spirits in that, what's going like I was getting rid of spirits in the house. And then it was early in the morning, like about 5, 6 o'clock. And then I put the sage out. I get the bongos out, and it's me. I'm the one who do this. And I got there, boom, and I start playing. It got to the point I was the alarm. I was like the rooster in the morning. I get up and I start playing. And after that, we'd sit down and we'd have like a ritual, nothing evil, nothing like that, just ritual on the day, thanking the Creator, thanking Him for everything. It's more like a prayer. We sit down. From what I remember, we sit down more like pray together in the morning, pray for prosperous and things like that. And like I said, Zen, he was spiritual as far as I understood. So we would sit down, we would pray and everything, and then we get up and then we get our day going, do whatever we're doing, going to work, getting out, whatever we do. So now comes the time We doing that. That's just a part of where we were. That was in East Point. We were staying in East Point at this time with the house. Then let's see what else will happen, right? While we at the house. Like I said, Desiree will come see me every so often, but it would be every so often. So now the time comes for the mitzvah. And I think I shared that with you now. I think I know this was in 2010 because it was after the time of, this was after the, the sovereign situation. And that was from 2000, November 2009 till June of 2010. Now this is afterwards, around this time, and I remember going to visit them in August of 2010 when they had it at their new place. I think it was in August, I believe it was, and I was still trying to talk to them about that. But now, I was just sharing. Now it's in 2010. We have we have a house, and this is going into the winter. Yeah, I think this was going before the winter, before going into the winter. And it was before the winter because it was like around September. I remember this, all in late August, beginning of September, around this time, 2010. And I remember we went to a mitzvah, and I think I shared this last week. Zen actually, a mitzvah is something like Sixth Sense and also a seance, but it's not. It was like where we were, it was like we would come. I was like, what is this? Zen invited me to come. I went to check it out. And we would be there, and I would sit back. Now, I'm just telling you my story, stuff I've been through. Now, compared to where I am today, this is stuff I just went through. Not saying I was worshiping on none. Definitely wasn't worshiping none of this stuff. But this is just things I went through and have experienced. So just to let the people know, if anybody think, oh, you're doing that, see, people judge too much. When you go through life, and this is one thing I gotta say, when you go through life, you go through life. Some things you know, some things you don't know, some things you end up coming upon, not realizing what it is until you go through it. And we all go through that. Just like somebody got on crack, knowing they didn't want to get on crack. Somebody smoked something, whatever it is. So people judge. When you're pointing the finger, you got 3 pointing back. So I'm just gonna let you know. I'm just open with sharing my life because these are the things that happen in my lifetime. So I'm just sharing this information just so when I make my book or my movie or whatever, I can remember most of it. And then the people that's a part of it, I can go get them because everybody sees things from their own eyes. You know what I'm saying? People see things from their life is different than the way you live it. So they see things from the outside and you looking from the outside looking in to me on the inside looking out. So I'm just telling you the way I see it. Now we at the house. We got the house, and we went to a misa. That's where I was at. We was at a misa. I went with Zen to a misa, right? He was telling me about it. I said, I didn't understand. So I just went. We went. I'm sitting in the room. I'm sitting there. And so they do like a prayer ritual or what have you. And this is when the woman is sitting up there in a chair and they're trying to find out who murdered her son, right? Trying to find out who murdered her son. So they're saying and doing whatever they're doing. And I'm not understanding what's going on, but I'm just sitting back seeing the situation. End up, seeing just sit up and did this guy have a certain something? The mother back said, yeah. Were they here and there? She said, yeah. Did they have this color and this car? And yeah. And Zen just went on in. He just started, well, this is what happened, and that's what happened, and this was going on. He was more like asking questions. He didn't tell what was going on. Well, this person, and was it two people? And he mainly solved the murder. Like I said, he was a medium. So his spirit gave him the understanding of what was going on and from what she knew compared to what happened. And he broke everything down, So he told everything, and everything happened. And it was like once that was over, then it was like the spirit was still in the room. So the people that was there, they was able to almost everybody in the room. They say this and that, this and that about you, this and that. And they was giving information on everybody. When they got to me, that reminds me in my dream in '98. When they got to me, the prophet said, God got big plans for you. So now I'm seeing here at this time, when they got to me, they said, how did he tell me? He said, scientists of the universe. The spirits told me from them. Scientists of the universe, when they got to me. And they always gave me good, I'm just going to say fortune. I'm just going to say good fortune. But they gave me good fortune every time. They only did it one time. We did that day. We left, and it was, everything was good or whatever. We went one more time, and this sister named Alexis. This was 2010, because in November 2010, I had something else come up. Thank you, Father. See how these things is happening? So this sister named Alexis, right? She happened to be out in front of my store one day, in front of we had just closed up. She was just standing outside, wasn't doing nothing. I seen her, I see a lot of people, but I don't remember names much. And I don't remember. There's so much going on. I know a lot, I see a lot, and something I remember. A lot of people knew me compared to me remembering them, if you understand what I'm saying. And not to be disrespectful about it, it's a lot of things that I see and people I see, and sometimes I see them, I have to sit and talk to them for a minute, and then sometimes it just come back to my mind. Oh, okay, I remember who you are now, but sometimes it just had to take a while for a minute. So this sister named Alexis, right? She was in front of Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace. We were just about to go to the Misa for the second time. Now, this time, I think I shared last week about Daryl making me a medallion, a rose quartz medallion. He was good with twisting, and I wished I'd have learned that from him, because it was beautiful. He used to have real craft, artmanship, beauty, the way he wrapped the stones and crystals and stuff. It was art, really art. You can sell them. You can sell the way he wrapped them up. You can sell them like you sell a diamond ring. They was perfect. They was beautiful the way he wrapped them up. So he actually gave me that. He gifted me or gave me that, right? So Daryl real cool. So I had that on. I was wearing it most of the time. She ended up going to the Misa with me, Zen, and us, and his brother named Josie. Josie or Joseph, or Juan. I think his name is Juan. Yeah. On Instagram they call him Voodoo Priest, I believe, right now. But we went to the house. It was at his house, actually. It was at his house. And at the time, I didn't know nothing about no voodoo, nothing like that. Like I said, it was just, to me, it was just coming. And from what happened the first time, I was really impressed. And I was like, well, I didn't understand what's going on, but hey. So they did like the prayer ritual again, what have you. The way they did, and they to the Mother Mary or whatever. That's nothing had nothing to do with me. I'm just there. So got around, and they gave me good fortune again, but I forgot what that one was. But I wanted to write it down, but I ain't had nothing to write it down, remember. And then, but when they got to Alexis, they were pointing at me saying, because the woman couldn't speak English, she speak Mexican. Whatever it was, it kept pointing to my rose quartz to give it to her. But I said, this is a gift for me. I didn't want to give it to her. But also I understood that when you get stones be with you for a time. This is what was told to me. Stones are with you for a time until their time is done with you, and they move on, just like people. So when the woman, this was told to me long before this point in time, I understood that, and it was taught to me. So when she pointed at the stone and said for her, I said, okay, I'm just gonna let her keep it. I don't want to have it. So, excuse me. So I gave it to her, and that night from there, we all hung and stuff like that, talked, and there was another sister as well. I think I was telling about as well. But we all hung and whatever. And they actually came back to her house to spend the night. Her, another friend, another female friend, and Alexis. So, and me and Alexis, we just got cool from that point. I'm gonna say that much. We got cool from that point. And from that point, me and Alexis, we was cool ever since. We were tight. You know what I'm saying? So when me and Alexis was tight from that point on, she would come over to the house or what have you. Desiree wasn't nowhere around. And, me and Desiree, when we'd talk here and there. But like I said, but it wasn't too long, maybe that following weekend or next following week or weekend. Now, Alexis understood about, more than one woman. She understood that. Matter of fact, a few women in Atlanta understand and know that in the area of town where I'm at. And I can say everybody out there, but in every town where I was at, a lot of, you just understand the culture. So some do. Everybody's not like that, just a few. So she knew that I was with Desiree. I told her about it, what have you. So Desiree ended up coming to visit, right? So I'm outside. She visiting at our house. She in the house, and I'm outside. I think I don't know if I was. I washed Desiree's car, and I also washed Alexis' car. Now at the time, I didn't tell her yet that me and Alexis was cool. I didn't tell her yet. But, whatever, we hung for a minute, what have you. But I didn't want to hurt her neither because she was beautiful to me. Not just beautiful in spirit. She just, not just beautiful in looks, she was beautiful in spirit as well. But she didn't want to be with me to be with me. She wanted to be out there. I'm here. So I let her know. I said, and that wasn't the first time I told her that because that was the second, if maybe the third time, but that may have been the second time I told her I was with somebody. Like I said, I'm honest. When I broke that barrier in Atlanta, not Atlanta, in Germany with Karen, I can tell a woman. But like I said, she wasn't with me. If she'd have been in Atlanta, it probably wouldn't have happened. But it happened. So when she came, I washed her car, I washed Alexis' car, and everything was cool. And then when I told her, I don't know if it wasn't that day, but it was a little later, but it was on my mind to let her know, just like it was on my mind to let Karen know. So I let her know. This thing right here. So I let her know. She was hurt, She was hurt, and I didn't want to hurt her as well because, like I said, I loved Desiree, but Desiree, as far as I'm concerned, she just, she didn't want to be with me fully. She wanted to come and build with me. She wanted to be where she is. So, I can't stop my life. That's why I put it like that. I can't stop my life for somebody to want to have a long distance relationship and not know where it's going to go. And a lot of other things that she wanted me to do that she didn't want to do. You know what I'm saying? So, but the spirit had already been trying to tell me to let her go anyway. Long time. But it was just that I was connected with her, trying to get rid of her, couldn't, for whatever reason. And to me, she's beautiful. And I'm surprised when I first told her she didn't just move, but she stayed. So who knows? But the whole point is I remember the spirit was, but it is what it is. So I let her know, and she cried or whatever, but she was still here. Still here. Still there at the time, that is. So she accepted it. We still have a relationship, long distance, not knowing what she's doing. And if she did, I think she did do something once that she did tell me about. I don't know if she's doing that to get back or that was later on though. But She said that this happened. So whatever happened, that's what it was at that time. But the relationship was long distance. And I think that was later on as well. But it wasn't around that time. So relationship kept going on as it was. She was hurt, but she got over it. We was good. Me and Alexis still cool. Alexis ended up moving to New York. You know, she ended up moving to New York. But while she's in New York, and this is what I was gonna say, and she was on point with this, you know, and I really respected her for not respected, but really respected, but liked her for this as well. She had my back. You know what I'm saying? She had my back. I had her back, you know. And when she moved to New York, I was getting started. I called it the panel of the Moorish Society. And I'm going to start that in a few minutes. I'm going to start that in part 2. The panel of the Moorish Society. That is what I had a conference in November of 2010. Man, this November is getting strong now, understanding it. So other than that, I'm on a pause Zoom. Glad my boy G1 in on with us tonight. I'm on pause Zoom, and other than that, we'll be right back with Zoom with the full version, and we'll be right back, and I'm start part 2 with the panel of the Moorish Society.
Recording stopped.
All right. And for everybody else, don't forget, you can always call me at 770-572-5315. You can call or text me at 770-572-5315. Or you can always email me at lkhyym@gmail.com. That's lkhyym@gmail.com. And if you would like to check me out on my part 1 and part 2, my part 1 and part 2, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. On my YouTube, we're on Juice Pro 33, which is JUICEPRO33. That's JUICEPRO33 all together. On YouTube, you can like, subscribe, and share. And that's part 1 and part 2 on live. That's live on YouTube at Juice Pro 33. And also we're on Instagram, which is under L'chaim_the Juice, which is LKHYYM_THEJUICE. That's L'chaim_the Juice, which is spelled LKHYYM_THEJUICE. That's on my Instagram. And on my Facebook, part 1 and part 2, my Facebook is Mikael Harris, which is MI_CHAEL space HARRIS. That's MI_CHAEL space HARRIS. All right. Now that's part 1 and part 2. Now, if you like the full version, which is from Zoom, the full version is on YouTube under video. The full version is on YouTube under video, and you can like, subscribe, and share at Juice Pro 33, as same as live. That's JUICEPRO33. That's JUICEPRO33, and we also have the full version on X, formerly known as Twitter. That's X, formerly known as Twitter, which is still JUICEPRO33 altogether. That's JUICEPRO33. All right. Then you have the full version on. Excuse me. You have the full version on Patreon.com. That's Patreon.com/LKHYYM. Patreon.com/LKHYYM. That's it. .com/LKHYYM. And on Rumble.com/LKHYYM. That's rumble.com/LKHYYM. /LKHYYM. So this is the end of part 1 of Mikael's life, the life of Mikael, question and answer, part 15 and 16. And first we're going to say bye to Facebook. We'll be right back. I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. We'll be right back with part 2, which is part 16. Thank you. Appreciate love you and always. Peace. Alrighty. All right. And over here on Instagram, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. I don't know who this may be. I see one person looking, but we'll be right back with part 2 of Life of Mikael, question and answer. Oh man, I almost forgot my girl. Oh man, I think she's on phone. I hope this is her. Mecca L. I almost forgot about Mecca L. I gotta put her in here. But that's later on too. That's later on. That's coming up. Oh man. I hope this you, girl. I'll be right back with part 2 in a minute, but that's down the line. That's after that's just before I came back to Detroit when I had my own place in Little 5 Points. No, in the West End area. Mecca L. Yeah, I'm glad I seen. I hope this is her here. But this says Mecca. This might be Mecca 10. So this might be you. I don't know. But other than that, we'll be right back with part 2. I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you, and always. Peace. Man, that was nice to see that name come up. Yeah, that's right. I almost forgot about her. No, I ain't, because I ain't got there yet. Yep, I ain't got there yet. That's the reason why I couldn't forget. But I'm glad that she's up. She just hit me. And over here on Facebook Live, we'll be right back with part 2. I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you, and always. Peace.